Yo, what's up guys, Boris here. The brand new abilities for Luffy Legend have been revealed. This morning, it looks like there was a Game With article that explained everything about the brand new Luffy, and this guy seems like he's going to be insane. Might be one of the best legends of the game, potentially could overthrow Log Luffy in terms of a legend. Who knows, but this guy is very powerful, that we know for sure. So sit back because I have a lot to talk about this character. Now, remember, this is going to be a quick, and he's going to be a freedom captain. He's going to boost freedom characters. So that's really interesting. You know, we've had some pretty good freedom characters in the past, freedom leaders, but this is, I think, by far going to be the best one. And I mean, he's going to be so good that you might even want to run freedom teams now, just because the amount of damage that this is going to be able to do. Now, the reason I say that is because this Luffy permanently boosts all your freedoms by 2.5. Not too bad, just like a typical, you know, rare recruit, not bad. But here's the kicker, guys. If you use your special for the next 3 turns, that 2.5 boost becomes a 4 times boost. So if you use your Legend Luffy special, he pretty much becomes a Cavendish, where you have a 4 times boost, and then the I'm gonna call him Log Luffy, but I wish I call him Legend Luffy. Post time skip Luffy, the friend post time skip Luffy, he will give a 2.5. So together that makes it what, like a times 10 boost. But guess what? Unlike Cavendish, if you use both of the specials, you actually can, and that will give your Luffy 4 times. And then multiply that by another 4 times, that is 16 times. So he is a 16 times captain if you use both of the Luffy's specials at the same time. And yes, it has been confirmed, apparently by Game With and by OPTC Academy, that you can use those specials together. And on top of that, apparently it lasts 3 turns. So you're going to get 3 turns of times 16 boost for all freedom units, and in my opinion, that is broken. Crazy. I mean, freedoms are about to go from one of the worst teams to one of the best teams. Definitely get your your Lost Submarine potentially maxed, or maybe your Boa, because this guy, if you pull him, you will be running him. I guarantee you will be running this captain, man. Now, his special, what does his special do? His special makes it so that 3 types of orbs are beneficial. I believe it's blue orbs, green orbs, and yellow orbs become beneficial. So that's 3 out of what, a possible 7 orbs that are beneficial. Pretty interesting. You're gonna have to find ways to set it up so that you can try to get those matching orbs. And on top of that, it deals apparently incredibly massive damage to 1 unit, and I believe it's blue damage. So again, that is the reason why you can use 2 specials. Normally, if it was just the orb manipulation, where it allows certain orbs to be matching, then you would not be able to use the second Luffy. But they added that damage part in there so that you can in fact use both at the same time. And this is crazy. I mean, this is gonna be crazy. 3 turns of 16 times boost. I can't explain to you guys just how powerful that is. That is a massive boost. And let's compare it to Akainu, because Akainu has a similar thing where I believe he gets 2.25, but if they have a red orb, it becomes a 4 times boost for that character. So 16 times for double Akainu on any units that have a red orb. However, the problem with Akainu teams is that only red characters are benefited from red orbs. So although you might have a base unit that has 16 times boost, and that's still very, very powerful, you unfortunately kind of have to run mono red teams. If not, you don't have to, but to get the maximum damage output, you would have to run a mono red team. Well, with this, you can run multiple colors and they would all get a boost. They're all going to get the times 16 boost. You can get matching orbs on them, and this is going to allow you to pretty much be able to deal with almost any type of boss in the game, because if you can run a multicolor team, then the color of the boss doesn't matter. You'll have at least 1 unit that can take it out. And this is what made Strongworld Ace really, really powerful back in the day. Unfortunately, Strongworld Ace is sort of capped as to how much damage he can do. Now you're looking more towards these 4 times legends, these 16 times attack boosts that really allow you to one-shot bosses. that's sort of where the game is heading to recently. You don't really have time anymore to, you know, have 2 turns to kill the bosses. You normally have to one-shot him nowadays, and the 16 times boost is going to help with that. So what kind of teams are going to be looking to run? Well, there's one card in particular that I'm thinking of, and that is one of the most difficult, actually might be the most difficult free-to-play character to get, and that is the Invasion Shanks. Now, Invasion Shanks came out a little while ago, and the only way you can find him is by doing Coliseum Chaos difficulty stages and hoping that he shows up. And then if he shows up, you have to clear one of the most difficult stages in the game, which involves paralysis, numbness, silence. It involves everything, so it's just really, really difficult. And then on top of that, you have to do that over and over again to farm that special. But that Shanks happens to be one of the best characters in the game. I say that because it's one of the only characters in the game that gives a 2 times orb boost, the previous ones being the Doflamingos. And that 2 times orb boost, I really think, will have the ability to push Freedom teams over that sort of fringe area that they were in before, because Freedom teams for a long time, they just haven't really been used that often. But I think now with the addition of this new Luffy, combined with the Shanks, we might start seeing some heavy damage, too much damage for people to ignore any longer. Another addition to the team could be someone like a Conjuro from the Coliseum. If you guys don't know what he does, he's another very hyped up Freedom character that people were really excited about when he was released. What he does is he'll change all of the colored orbs on Freedom characters into matching, and then he'll change all of the non-colored orbs. So we're talking you know, meat, handum, bomb, bother orbs, those type of orbs, all those will become non-matching. So it does seem a bit random, but pretty much if you use the correct type of characters on your team, this will pretty much give you all matching orbs, with the exception of unfortunately Conjuro, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Because if you think about it, remember, Luffy's gonna make it so blue, green, and yellow orbs are matching. So if you run a blue unit, like for instance the Luffy, if we use Conjuro special, it's going to give him either a blue orb or it's going to give him a green orb. But with Luffy special, that makes them both matching. And so if you think about it, you can bring green characters, you can bring purple characters, because same thing, purple will get a purple matching orb, or it'll be a yellow orb which makes him matching with Luffy special. And then you can also bring potentially a red character, because of the same thing. So if you bring the correct colors, you can do that, and then the only thing you'd have to do is get a colored orb on Conjuro to make sure he gets a matching orb, and you can have yourself a pretty crazy team. Well, what else can you put on the team? One possibility is that free-to-play ace that we got during the anniversary. He's another purple unit, gives a 1.75 orb boost for freedoms. So 1.75, it's a free-to-play character. Most people have him who play on Japan. He's going to be a pretty decent unit, because I believe he has 1300 attack, so not bad. And again, it's just an orb boost combined with a type boost, because he's going to deal a lot of damage. You can also potentially maybe run like Coliseum Mapu if you don't have that guy. But overall, just if you want to run some sort of freedom booster, of course. And then also, something else that you could run is something to boost a little bit of damage. So if you got the purple Sabo from the Christmas event, I believe, he gives I think a 0.5 boost to the chain, so maybe you might want to run him, or potentially you could run someone like a conditional booster, or even an HP cutter. One of my favorites is Leo, of course. You guys know I'm a big fan of Leo. 20% health cut, locks all those matching orbs for a turn, and also delays, so make sure that you don't die when you're below, if you put them below 20%. So even though your boost will only be for 1 turn, you can still do a good amount, guys. Times 16 damage is really good even without any boost. If you have matching orbs, you're going to be dealing a lot of damage. And so Leo locks those orbs so you have a sort of second turn to kill the boss. In case you don't kill him the first turn, again, the 20% health cut is never bad. Your opponent starts off at 80% health. Makes it a lot easier to one-shot. In my opinion, when you're running one-shot burst teams, you have to run HP cutters if at all possible, just to make that one shot a lot easier. If you're running a 2-shot team or potentially even a 3-shot team, then HP cutters aren't that important. But that overall seems like a very powerful team to me. And again, it gives you all matching orbs with the exception of Conjuro, which you will need a colored orb on him if you want to get a matching orb. But this is seeming like a very powerful team, and I can't wait to test it out if I ever do manage to pull the brand new Luffy. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you guys think that Luffy's broken. If you guys don't think he's broken, do you think that he'll be someone that you want to get? Or I think, to be honest, I think everyone's gonna want to pull the new Luffy. I know I was saying I was a bit disappointed in the previous video that we're getting another Luffy, but they're doing this one justice. He's pairing up really well against the Log Luffy, so if you have both of them, it's gonna be a tough debate to choose which one you're gonna run. But overall, I think this Luffy is very strong and might potentially be actually a bit broken in my opinion. But again, let me know what you guys think down below. See you guys in the next video. Can't wait to see what the rest of the Straw Hats do. And until next time, peace.